Hey, y'all. Please like and subscribe. I'm just kidding. I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't post stuff like this. Don't like or subscribe. Um, I just had to post this video. I don't think my channel that I do have is so small. There's like 3 people that have seen things. Like me and my 3 kids, I think, are like the 4 people that have seen the videos. And so likely no one's going to see this until after inauguration. So whatever. But I just feel like I need to post it. So let me just tell you real quick, for those of you who have no idea who I am. I have a illness called babesia. It's kicked my butt my whole life. And the last few years I went through a terrible divorce. And between those 2 things, my world was turned upside down. I went through the deepest, darkest trial that I've ever been through. It rocked my world. I wanted to just leave the earth. If I didn't have kids, I would have. All that stuff, summarized. And I turned to God like I never had before, and I started to open the scriptures, and not just for 30 minutes every morning. We're talking 10 hours a day. For a while there, it was 10 hours a day. I was so sick, I was laid up, and all I did was study and pray. And I learned a lot. The scriptures where it talks about seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. There's other scriptures that talk about, you put enough time into the word, you're going to learn God's mysteries. And I know God's mysteries. Most people I tell that to just think I'm crazy, and that's fine. I don't care. Because I know truth and they don't. Most people in this world wouldn't know truth if it sat on their face and deposited it in their mouth. They're blind, they're deaf, they're stupid. To truth, anyway. So listen, in the 1611 version of the Bible, there was apocryphal text between the New and Old Testaments, okay? One of those books is the book of 2nd Esdras. Chapters 11 and 12. 11, there's a vision that was given of an eagle. And I'm not going to go into the whole thing because that's not my point here. There's been other people that have done a phenomenal job of that and have graphics and all that stuff. And Michael Rush is the first one that came up with this interpretation, which I believe my reinterpretation, which I'll explain, I think goes very closely along with his original interpretation. There are some differences along the way in chapter 11 that I disagree with some of the stuff, but they're things that I don't think in the end matter. At this point where we're at, I think there's one thing that matters, and that is who are the 2 leaders that think in themselves to take rule. So in the text of 2nd Esdras, it talks about these 2 leaders that are thinking that they're going to rule and reign the country, but they are eaten up before they have that opportunity. So I just want you to know, like, not trying to toot my own horn, but I have a lot of downtime. So it's kind of been forced upon me a little bit. I chose, right? I lost my desire to do all other worldly things a while back. And so my every focus has been on finding a wife and studying the scriptures. Like, literally, the only thing that takes me from studying scriptures, I work a little bit, I'm with my kids, trying to find a wife. Those things, other than that, I study. I listen to YouTube videos on the things I study, I pray, and I've put hundreds of hours, I think, into this. Hundreds of hours in total on Ezra's Eagle, on all the books that I believe point to and from 2nd Esdras, and a ton of time pondering. And so here's what I believe at this point. There are only two possibilities in my mind. One, the prophecy is not true. It's not correct. It's not of God. It was just made up by someone and put in here, thousands of years ago, and it happens to line up with the president's of the United States pretty dang well. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I mean that sincerely. Maybe it was a true prophecy, and then somewhere down the line it was altered to say something a little different, so that those of us who think we know or think what's going to happen is going to happen doesn't happen, and we're like, okay, well, what happened there? I don't know. I think there's a lot of those things in God's works, by the way, where he did that so that he could sift the the wheat from the tares, so that the creme de la creme, the cream would rise. The tippy top of the cream would rise to the top of all of this. That's what's happening in our world right now. The top of the top are going, and I'm not saying in intelligence or anything else. I'm saying those who put the time into the word. Okay, I'm on a tangent. I want to just talk about, I think I already said that I think there's just the two options. But one is that it's not true. Somehow, some way it was altered, or it's just a made-up story. And number two is that on the 19th or 20th of January 2025, Trump and Vance will be murdered, and it will be by a bomb, I believe. If not a bomb, some kind of mass casualty event that doesn't just take them out, but it takes hundreds, if not thousands or tens of thousands of other people out with them. The reason I believe that is because the prophecy goes on to say after these two leaders are eaten up, which, by the way, I'm not going to give you all the detail, but the Latin, Greek, and Hebrew words that they say that possibly came from, the term eaten up, every single time in all of those languages, it means to devour or consume completely. Other people have said, oh, well, they were eaten up and they were taken out of office or put on trial again. No, sorry. That's not being eaten up. That may be being nibbled at, but it's not being eaten up. Eaten up is consumed and devoured and killed. So I believe that, so the reason I believe that it's more than them that's going to die at this casualty event is because it says that after they die, after they're eaten up, that these three unelected leaders take over the country. And the middle one, the middle eagle head as it states, is the one that will take the initial reign. And it says he'll rule the world with more oppression than it's ever seen. So what I believe that means, and I think Michael Rush has said this early on, I believe that means that it'll be a mass casualty event that'll kill people on both sides of the aisle, so it's hard for one to blame the other. Well, for the left or the right to blame the left for killing Trump, which is what would normally have happened. So what I believe is that they're going to blame this bomb or this disaster on Iran, and then this eagle head is going to go obliterate Iran and potentially other countries in the Middle East, and millions, if not tens of millions of other people are going to die in addition to those that die on the 19th or 20th of this month. I'd be happy to share any of the studies or talk to anyone, but I'm not going to give a ton of detail because I just wanted this to be brief, and I want it just to be a video that, honestly, quite frankly, maybe it's just my pride, like when this does happen, that I can just at least say to people, hey, remember when I told you this? No, I don't remember that. Well, here's a video. Like, I don't know. I hope it's not just pride. I hope it's more just like, wow, this is getting so close and it's so real, and I feel like I know it so well that it's like, for me, it's like in 8 days, the world's going to be turned upside down. I feel like I know that, and other people don't. That's pretty like heavy. What do? What am I supposed to like go to the news outlet and say this is what's gonna happen? Come on, dude, you crazy moron. So I don't know what else to do besides post a YouTube video, I guess. So anyway, I hope, I don't want people to die. I hope it doesn't happen. But I know that this year, from all of my other studies of end times, Daniel, Revelations, I know that this year, regardless of whether this happens, is going to be chaos. Start of civil war, start of chaos. And so I know it's going to happen. I don't want it to, but it is going to happen, and nothing will stop God's plan from moving forward. Anyway, God bless everyone. I hope if it does happen that we can get through it.